my gosh, I actually pretty much heard the whole word this time instead of
I
just
tried. I actually tried that time to like slow down, draw it out, wait till after you start speaking, and then come in so that my mic would actually pick it up.
It sounded pretty much the same. So,
Well,
yeah,
you know, I
it is
do what
what
I
it is.
can.
Yeah. So,
Welcome, viewers, to the first post-move halfway to Concord. First one we've done in a while. We tried to do one in person because we are now in the same state, and
we
you know,
recorded something,
we recorded something.
but technical difficulties led to it being almost unsalvageable. I did try to mess with it to edit it together. It's mostly unusable.
Halfway to Concord having technical issues?
No
No.
way, dude.
You're kidding.
That's insane.
Really?
It's never happened before. It's never happened.
So shocking. So weird. Anyway, it's been a while. What's been going on in your life lately?
My life?
Yeah. Any big news? Any happenings? Anything that'll catch the ear of the viewers who come in and watch the first 90 seconds and then leave?
I just fucking
know
broke
you are.
Venom's head. I apologize, Venom. Okay. Yes, I just grad prep. So preparation for graduation. That and classes. You know, we're still in college. Well, I am. I don't know if you're doing classes right now, but
I'm not.
yeah. Well, then I'm still in college. You're doing whatever you're doing.
I'm full bumming it.
Bumming
I'm doing fuck and also shit.
it. Fuck and also, I think it's fuck all, not fuck shit.
It is, but you know,
Hey, it gives you more time to vibe, I guess.
it gives me more time to vibe. It's like I'm in the worst like state of like it's because I'm like when I was at college this past year, I was doing college and I was working as many hours as I could possibly get, so like part-time and then some.
Yeah.
And I was like constantly like I don't have any time to do like halfway to Concord or to stream or to practice for Call of Duty. Like all this shit that I really wanted to do, I didn't have time for because I was too busy trying to be an adult. And now that I'm full bumming it,
Full bumming.
no school, like don't even have a job yet. I'm looking, don't have one yet. I have all this time in the world, and I'm just like, all my friends are too busy to record or to practice. What do I do with myself? So I'm like full bumming it, just playing Madden and keeping myself busy through the days while I try to, figure out what I want out of life.
Yeah. I think everyone's still on that journey, right? The figuring out what the heck they want to do kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because college, like, artificially creates borders in, like it puts the bumpers on the bowling alley. It's like, yeah, you can't go over there when you're here. But once you leave, the bumpers are gone again. So then you're like, it opens up and you're actually like, wait, what do I actually have to do? What do I actually... I'm taking this class called Senior Seminar, and it's about graduation prep essentially, but it's also about like developing like critical thinking skills because they realized like we never do that. So if it's not taking notes and studying, people have no clue what to do. And then we did like a financial seminar, and 80% of it I had no idea what it was, and 100% of it was so crucial to existing that I was concerned that I didn't know it already.
Right.
Like, it's so dumb how our system works, because the stuff that really matters to, like, it doesn't matter how good of a job you get. You got to know how a 401k works. You got to know how if you don't, you're fucked. Like, you'll be working till you die. Like, it's so strange that we don't have, like, we do have classes for it, but they're always like super half-assed. They're shitty.
Yeah.
And it opened my eyes of like, oh my god, Jesus, we have no clue what the fuck's going on. No one in that class. Dude, I listen to some people who are like, wait, you can have 2 accounts in your bank? What do you mean? I just have one where I pull money from. Like they didn't understand saving and checking.
Right, yeah.
And they're older than me. Some of them are like 23. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
We're fucked.
A little bit.
Better start buying gold. Because that's all you'll understand.
I feel like it's one of those, like, so I'm assuming your college did the same thing as the, well, I mean, I went to two different colleges, but when we first got there, we had like you had like a semester long class, or we did, where it was all about like, it was like one hour long class per week, and it was all about getting you ready for college and what you need to do in college, and it was just like an intro to college type thing.
Never had that.
No? Okay. Well, I mean, there wasn't really much to it. It was mostly just like understanding campus and how to talk to your professors and how to word your emails and shit like that. Like very, very baseline stuff to kind of just be like, you are now in college and these are these are the things that are expected of you. I feel like like colleges should have like a first year, like mandatory, like here's what you need to know about life. Here's
a life class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the basics of every field that you're going to need to know about, like learning about shit like bank accounts and 401ks and fucking pensions and shit like that.
Yeah.
And just everything that you're like filing taxes, all that shit.
It's telling that in high school we had a class called personal finance, and a couple units in we were talking about the stock market, not in the same way that you would talk about it for everyday stock knowledge, like, you know how you the money spread across multiple industries for that type of stuff that everyone does for like a backup plan kind of thing.
Right.
No, I don't know. It has a name. I forgot what it's called. But no, we talked about how to read the graphs and stuff. Like I'm going to be a day trader. No. If I do what I'm supposed to do, none of that information is relevant to me outside of whether or not it's good or bad. That's it.
Yeah.
And I can see if it's good or bad because good is green, bad is red. I'm not an idiot. So I don't know. Like, whoever designs these like curriculums, it's like, oh my god, they have no clue. They have no clue what people need to know. For some reason, they know it already. They should be able to just tell us.
Yeah. It's like, I forgot what like forum, like if it was like on Twitter or TikTok or some social media or something, where people were talking about the old, like in high school they should teach us all this stuff that we need to know for real life, and people were kind of going against that because what's going to end up happening is what happens with a lot of those like personal finance type classes, where it's like some teacher is going to be strapped with this curriculum that's like, hey, you got to do this. They're not experts in it. They don't really know exactly how to teach that. So it's not going to be incredibly effective. And high school students are fucking idiots. So they're not going to pay attention and actually like process all that information. So I don't know if it would be super effective in high school, but I think college absolutely should have like a mandatory like semester or even year-long class where it's like, here's life 101 basically.
Yeah. Colleges don't usually do year-long stuff. I believe they always do semester-based because that's how their payment structure works.
Right.
But I do believe there should be like life 101 or whatever the earliest stage of class. They have the numbers, I forgot. And then life 10, I don't know how it goes, but life 2, like a second semester version, both required and both mandatory for your first year. So that obviously you don't have someone who paid for a year-long class and they drop out the first semester. If I can throw them. This is 12 subs for you, bucko. But it's like, yeah, it's so essential. I don't know why it's not a thing. It's probably just because when you're older, I think, and you already know it, you think it's common sense, or you think everyone already knows what they need to do. Like, to us, it's common sense that, like, a record button is a red circle. But we learned that it is that. We didn't start with that. Ask someone who has no clue about anything, which I don't think there's very many of them out there, but ask them, and they would have what? This makes no sense. I don't understand. Why is that? Why is that? And it's like, just cause it is. That's how it works. It's so
Yeah.
easy. I don't understand. It's like you can't teach something like that because it's like it's really hard. You just have to
I had
brute force it.
a specific instance of what you just kind of described. So the house I'm currently in was actually like my childhood home, but it got renovated because it like partially burned down. And so my grandparents got a whole lot of new like appliances and stuff. So they got this new stove or this new oven or whatever, and they've been trying in vain to figure out how it all works. And my grandma, like a couple nights ago, was like trying to like heat it up, like preheat it or whatever,
Yeah.
and she couldn't figure out how to like preheat it, how to get it to start going. And I go in there, and the start button on it is like this rectangle with the play button, like the sideways triangle.
Mm-hmm.
That seems incredibly straight. Like that's obvious.
Yeah.
To me, it was not obvious to her, who had never really seen that used in that way before.
Yeah.
And it's like exactly as you said, like it's no one just because something seems common sense because it's been a part of your life forever doesn't mean it's actually common sense. It just means it's something that you were exposed to early on and had to deal with and grow accustomed to.
I think that level of wisdom comes harder the older you get. I think everyone is destined to become an out of the loop old guy, right? Because there's a reason, like the old dogs new tricks thing. There's a reason that exists as a saying, and it's because there's like it's when you've lived your life, you're kind of at end game. You're an older person, or you're like, say you're old, like working and whatever. You've almost done working. You're about to retire. You don't like newfangled things are meaningless to you. It doesn't matter. You're done.
Yeah.
You just get to vibe out until the great beyond. So
the Reaper comes to collect. Yeah.
Yeah, you just get to vibe. And it's like, I think that's destined for all people. So I think that slowly starts to creep into your life, though, as you get older. So that the idea to like maybe people won't get it, the older you get, becomes less of a common sense question to ask. Because now, when we ask that all the time, because we don't get a lot of things, so we assume everyone else doesn't get a lot of things. They get a lot of things, so they assume everyone else gets a lot of things. That's my theory on it.
Yeah. While we're still kind of on the topic of like education and life in general, never mind. We're gonna splice this and cut it and
I
move on.
saw the fucking buffer wheel. I was like, "What are you doing, bro?"
I was starting to like. I wanted to talk about it earlier. I was going to talk about like my own life, my own experiences with education, but then when I had the moment of like, okay, now you have a segue, you can get into this. I started starting to plan out what I was going to say, and I was like, is this really that interesting? Is this something I really want to get into? And after I planned out like half the talking points, I was like, nah, I don't think anyone gives a shit, and also I don't feel like talking about it. So basically,
rewind that, everybody.
Moving along. Something new. I have a dog.
Oh, where? Oh, I didn't. You were covering the dog. You were covering it.
Will you look over here?
He or she?
Camera. She.
She? Oh, she's so cute.
Hey. I know you're tired. I know you're lazy. Come here. Come here.
I think she's chilling. She's
Yeah,
vibing right now.
She'll
Yeah, you completely cover her when you're sitting.
Yeah.
I love dogs so much. I love them.
Yeah, me too.
That's crazy.
Where I lived before up in South Dakota, the people I was living with, the family that I was living with, my family, not just a random family, they didn't want any animals or pets or anything. And it was very sad because I love dogs, and now I get to come back here and spend time with my dog.
Doggy. That's great.
Which is nice.
Yeah, dogs are great.
All animals are emotional support animals.
They support me emotionally.
Mhm.
I actually, I'm gonna say something pretty based.
Say it.
When I leave after visiting home and having to like monitor Joe, which is our dog,
Mhm.
I get a sense of relief. She's a Great Dane. She's large and
She is.
she's young,
I
which
met her.
means she has a very energetic personality, and it's taxing. So I get a sense of relief when I don't have to watch her all day. Make sure she isn't, I don't know, eating something. Usually she's trying to eat something, but
Yeah.
yeah,
My dog is the exact opposite. She is not only old in age, but also old in spirit. So all she fucking does all day is just sleep and lay around.
yeah. That's the destiny of all dogs. When
Yeah.
we had Mojo, he started out young and full of life, and near the end, or not even just the end, just like about the halfway point, he just became the lazy slob that he was. But I mean, I loved him so.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, that age catches up to all of us.
yeah. We all become lazy slobs.
Yeah, sure
That's the
do.
goal.
Some quicker than others.
Yeah. Me, I'm already there. Woo!
Woohoo.
Yeah.
We were having a conversation in our Lost Files episode that will never see the light of day because it's completely unusable.
It's so bad.
But we were settling, or starting to settle. We had, so in the last episode, the last full episode we recorded, the last episode that our audience would have been able to see, we, at the end of it, we brought up the topic of like, who's cooler, Thor or Hulk? And one person commented on the post saying Thor is cooler. So I'm taking my win representing Thor. And yeah. So
That's
get
that's
fucked,
your
loser.
criteria for winning. Okay, whatever.
I mean,
The
I'm taking
issue
it.
is the argument happened so long ago that my passion for it has died.
Yeah.
I'm like, sure, okay.
I only brought it up again because I have an Iron Man action figure that just sits on my desk.
Iron Man.
And I was like, oh yeah, Marvel. Oh yeah, didn't we talk about Marvel? Oh yeah, we did.
We talked
Oh yeah,
about
Thor.
yeah. Yeah. Fucking I had something I wanted to bring up. I completely I pushed in the bumper of my car on a pole.
Oh, nice.
So I was backing out of my like the way my driveway, like, it's not a driveway, it's like a parking lot, but it's too short for you to stay on it when you pull out from all the other cars, so you go into the grass. And so I was backing out of the spot that would need to be in, and then I left. But then I was coming back, and my same spot was the only one there. Out of the 4 spots you can't have there, the one was like on the farthest, like almost the farthest one, but it was like the third one, not the fourth. It's hard to describe, but if you imagine like 1, 2, 3, 4 cars, it was the third one. So I had to like go whoop. And so I was like, no one cares about this grass. Everyone drives through this grass. I'm just going to drive through the grass. And I decided that after I had already pulled about this way, so I'd have to turn and then go like this and then do a bunch of correcting, which was annoying. So I was going to back up and restart my approach. This is something I've done like instinctively at this point. But I guess there was a single like factor that I didn't usually do that was in place that caused me to be too far back. I didn't even notice it. It was also nighttime, so my judge of distance was off. And I just was backing up to like go essentially straight into the spot, just through the grass onto the parking lot, and then whatever. And I just back it up, turning, getting into place. Oh shit.
Yeah.
And I turn around and I see a fucking electrical pole, and I'm like, oh no. And I drive in, I look, nothing broke. It's pushed in and dented. The panel on the sides all crumpled, where the bumper has essentially been pushed into it. So the side panel crumpled to allow that, which is how cars are supposed to work. But the light still works, everything works fine, and it doesn't even look that bad. So I'm not too concerned, but it is dented inwards now. And if you look at it, you're like, wait a second, there's like the plastic like top bit of the bumper where you're supposed to like put your foot if you're standing on top to get to the bed because it's a truck.
Right.
Is like bent up, like bubbled a little bit, where you could see it's been like pushed, compressed a bit. So it sucks.
Have you ever been into a car accident, like a full blown car accident?
I've been in a. It was a fender bender for us, but the person behind us, it wasn't. The person behind the person that we were in front of. So the third car, not our car, not the one behind us, but the last one, went too fast into the car behind us. Fucking nay-nayed that shit. And then that pushed that car into us. And then we were like sitting and went like this. Whap! Like that. And I didn't hit anything, and I wasn't in any pain at all. My mom was like in some pain because she, like, it jostled her a little more than me. I'm a bit more sturdy.
Sure.
And yeah, that's about it, really. The rest is like I backed into something.
Shout out to Drew's mom, by the way, beautiful woman.
Great. You never get any less awkward hearing that.
I just, hey, you know, you just gotta appreciate what you got, you know.
Okay.
Wonderful lady, very very nice, sweet, polite lady.
Yes, thank you. How do I respond to that? I'll just take that as like, okay, thanks.
It's like, do you ever hold like cards, and you know if you play this card in conversation with your friend that you already know the reaction you're going to get?
Yes, I think everyone has that.
I like collecting those cards on all my friends.
I like, yeah, the topics of conversation that always lead to an exact reaction that you can use for funny moments. Yes.
Yeah.
I think
I love bringing up how attractive your mom is because you immediately just like
it stun locks me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's because it's like, okay, I have to hesitate. Okay, what do I say next? Because I don't want to sound like a fucking weirdo saying something weird. So I'm like, okay, how do I respond? Because usually if someone said that about like someone who was not related to me or something, I would be like, I'd say something fucking stupid, like as a response for like funny, for the funnies. But I'm like, oh, this is my mother. Okay, stop. Okay, thanks. I guess I don't. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I think everyone has them though. Any topic, it's always something that brings like a stun lock or a it's like casting a spell in a game that pulls aggro is a really good one. Something that just pisses people off.
Yeah.
I love one of my favorite memes is someone saying like a super hot take to the point of it being like insane, like on Discord, and then immediate response, everyone is typing.
Yeah.
That is my favorite. Like,
yeah, that's great.
That's some good shit.
You mentioned casting a spell.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking of like an MMO, you have the aggro pulling if you're a tank.
Yeah. We have a D&D campaign.
Do we still?
Do we though?
Do we really? I'm sitting here like, at this point we ought to just nuke it and then bring new life into something. It was so awkward. I don't know. I felt so awkward doing that. I don't know what it was about.
Explain.
So I got my character got Flanderized. I don't know if you know Flanderization. It's referencing Flanders from Simpsons.
Yes,
and
I'm familiar with the character.
It's how they had a more complex character at the beginning, and throughout the time of its existence, it started to be boiled down into one character trait.
Yeah.
And it was Flanderized to that point.
Yes.
Mine started out as like a troubled man with a past, and he copes with the bevs, and it turned into a guy who likes the bevs and nothing else. And mainly because like two reasons. One, there were aspects of the campaign that would have been difficult if I didn't do that, and two, I didn't know how to maintain that. I think there might have been other stuff that added to that, but it made it so there was one person progressing the plot line, and then I would be like funny beer joke.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was going into that, I was kind of excited to go into it because obviously from the inception of our characters, we had like the idea that you were going to be this like really good-hearted, like, well-meaning character
Didn't
with this
last more than
troubled
5 minutes.
and then my character was supposed to be like this dark, like broody, like, chaotic, just money, haha. And then we were gonna have that interesting dynamic of differing morality, and then sort of come closer together over time. And then, yeah, first session, all of that got torn away, and both of our characters, I feel, just became like stripped down to their barest forms.
Yeah, your good dude became like only money was like the thing that drove you after like
Yeah.
a bit. It was like very obvious that that was the only thing, which did lead the plot along. But it worked, I guess, for that aspect. We almost derailed the entire campaign on the first session
Yeah.
because we just didn't cooperate.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Which I don't think you should have to
I love it.
cooperate. I feel like that's the core issue there.
I was just about to get into that. I think the whole thing with like how that can so easily fall apart, and like, yeah, the whole plot of our first attempt was basically like, yeah, I was driving the plot specifically like, let's just go make money, and you were kind of just following me around for reasons.
Yeah.
And that it makes our characters so one-dimensional when we don't have real reasons to work together or to like pursue certain things, when we're just like, obviously when the only thing we're working towards is like money or like alcohol, it's like that just becomes our personality of the characters.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I don't know.
It's
Max, since I know you're listening to this, you did good. We're not giving you shit.
it was actually significantly better than the first time I played on his campaign. I don't remember. I think we've done it once other time with him DMing.
Yeah.
It was a significant increase in my opinion.
Argus and Bonlin.
It was very much an improvement of the formula he's established, but no one's perfect.
No one's perfect, and I mean, shit could have gone better in all regards. There is no blame on any one individual person or situation. It just stuff to work on.
I've after just playing, I've not played a lot. You've played a ton of D&D. I've played. The way you word it is that you sound like a fucking wise wisdom man who's played 1,000,000 hours.
I consume a lot of D&D.
You know about how it's supposed to work. I don't.
Sure.
So from my experiences, how I've established my theory on how someone DMing should do it, like, I feel like the first thing that should be done is establish a theme, right? Theme of two things: the world and the story. Because the story is separate to the world. It's part of the world, but it's not. The world isn't the story. The story takes place in the world. So you need two themes. Right. Is it a dark world with a funny story? Then you need that first. Or is it a dark story with a very lighthearted like world? Or is it dark, lighthearted? Is there twists and turns? Like, are there going to be plan for things you want to do later?
Right.
With theming. And then the second thing that needs to be done is let them make their dudes. Because when you make your story first and you make your world, then they need to make a character that applies to that world. Which sounds fine, but it kind of limits that. And I feel like make your character first, or at least in tandem, but for the most part first, until a certain point where you can like, here's my backstory and here's the type of character. This is where I want them to like be from. The names and stuff can change, but this is the kind of logic I want to adhere to. Then I feel like you could start doing your grand narrative, kind of like Elden Ring, where there's like a light push to go over there, but the players don't have to.
Never played it.
Well, that's how it works. It's a light push. There's a golden like arrow essentially that kind of floats in a direction. It doesn't even shoot like very far. It's just like a little tiny thing on the map. It says go that direction, but the world is so massive that like that direction is so broad. And
yes.
it's like, and you could just go the other way. You need to allow for that. And I feel like creating a hardline story, then having the characters created for that hardline story, limits both of those things. It puts constraints.
I think the trick with that is that like you can't make a story. You have to have your players make the story.
You need a plot point list, but they happen in any order at any rate. The players create the overarching themes and narrative. You can have if you have a world and if you have a theme that you've planned out, like not like a story but a theme, like something that you want to adhere to, not like a what's the message of this theme, but a theme of like everything kind of connects to thematic similarities. If you have a thematic set of similarities established, they can tackle them at any rate they want. Like, I feel like a bullet point list it's not a list that you have to do in order, but each place on this map you've created or this world has a story point. Don't make them a line you have to follow. There's no end goal. The end goal is maybe they reach this one that you've established as an important thing, I guess. And they might not even get to it. Like, I feel like just make a world for them to explore. I feel like that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's not a video game with rules.
Right.
There's no nothing to stop you.
There's I mean, that's kind of like that's the allure of D&D. That's what makes D&D special. Is like we have guidelines, we have systems in place. Like this is how combat works. Yeah. But like, do whatever you want. Yeah. That should be the core. Like that's the core selling point for D&D is like you can do whatever the hell you want.
Mm-hmm. I feel like dude, I would love to like make my own.
I would like you to.
But the only issue is you need so much like information and you have to know all the systems and I'm too dumb. Like everyone has limits. I know mine. But like I have like it's so in my brain like it makes so much sense how to do it to make it work. If the players don't want to leave the starting town, don't make them leave it. They could just stay there. It might get boring for them, which will in turn push them to leave. Right. They'll do everything there is to do. Then they'll leave on their own, or they'll just leave if they want to, or they'll just, I don't know, die to some boss because they got really shit rolls. It's like all you need to do is create a town, make a layout for the town if there already isn't one made on a book somewhere. Make a few characters who have like an actual backstory, and the rest you just kind of just improv. And that's it. That's all you need to do. Yeah. Like I would have so much fun messing around with that shit because I feel like I'm not an actor. Mm-hmm. I can't play characters very well. If it's a shopkeep who tells you what's in stock or someone who says they have a vampire problem, I think I could do that.
Right.
It's just...
Have you ever done improv classes?
No.
Have you ever done anything to do with theater at all?
I don't like theater. It's my, like, it's the antithesis to my personality, which is you have to be outgoing. I'm not. If you were to be an actor, you have to be able to talk in front of groups of people.
Well, sure.
That core problem is... I get nervous ordering at McDonald's, bro. I am that bad. I still do it, and I don't sound like a weirdo. But in the back of my mind, I'm worried I'm going to say something wrong.
I have a funny story since we're on the point. So me, you, my sister, and my sister's friend went to see The Batman in theaters.
Great movie.
The Sunday before last.
Yes.
Right? So, yes, great movie. Absolutely fantastic. Loved it. We get there. We pre-ordered our tickets, and this was like second week of it being out, so it's a pretty packed theater. It was We get our tickets. We have four next to each other in a row. They're assigned numbers. They say row H, numbers 17 through 20 or whatever. We get there, and first of all, it already starts off horribly because my sister and her friend sit in the wrong seats. So me and you, we sit in what would have been their seats. They sit in the wrong seats.
They sat in the wrong seats because what would have been our seats was taken up by one dude sitting alone. There was like 4 or 5 chairs in a row untaken, and he took like not the furthest one to the other people, but like one where there was a chair, him, and then the rest of them, which one of those chairs was supposed to be mine or yours. I forgot which one. And it ruined the whole system. So it caused everyone to be moved back more. It was very bizarre.
Well, he noticed and he moved.
Yeah.
And then we sit down, and then the movie is like starting, and the people who were supposed to be in my sister and her friend's seats come by, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you're in our seats." So of course my sister turns and, "All right, we need to move down." It's my friend, my sister, me, you. Then the person, the random stranger who is in what is supposed to be our seats. I look to you, my good friend, and I say, "We need to move down. Tell that guy he's in the wrong seats." Like, and I pulled my ticket out. And I was like, you show him, like, just move it. You were a statue.
Yeah, because
you looked at me in the eyes and you said, "No, can't do it."
It's because literally that was like a nightmare. I have nightmares about scenarios like that. I physically I get pains in my core. Like, my body starts to stress out so hard. Dude, I will get gray hair at fucking 40, dude. Like, I am going...
Are you that afraid of confrontation?
Yeah, I'll never fight anyone. I'll never get in a fight because I just am I don't like that. I always just bend the knee. I immediately just... Sure, yeah, whatever, you win. Yeah, dude, angry customers at Lowe's, I sided with the guy. He was wrong.
And you still sided with him?
I stood next to him as he was yelling at the dude, and he looks at me, he's like, "Isn't this crazy?" And I go, "It is." I was like, sure, whatever. I'm bad at fighting. I'm a gentleman. I do not like that type of stuff. I'm not a fan of it. So as soon as, like, this dude, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, when we first told him, he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll get out." And then he could tell that there was something going on because I looked over at him, and his face was like, "Oh, this again?" And I'm like, "Oh no, this could lead to him being angry." And I was like, "That's not good." And so I froze up. I literally froze up. If you gave me enough time, I would have eventually done it. But
we were on a rush. We were getting pushed over.
Yeah, and it felt for me like I was sitting there for 5 minutes waiting, building myself up. It was probably like 15 seconds. Maybe even.
I mean, yeah, it was. I looked at you. Move. Nope. Drew, we just tell him to move. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Fucking, all right, fine.
Yeah.
And I had to. But the thing is, my sister, same way. She was not telling anyone to move. Sil, anytime I'm with Sil would not tell anyone to move. I have anxiety too. Why do I always have to be the adult?
Your dam breaks easier than ours. I've built up a wall that's far too strong. It takes a lot to break it down for me to do something like that. It was worse because it was 2 times the same person had to move.
Yeah.
And they didn't move down, by the way. They got up and went to the row below us. I don't know if you noticed that. Because then I was sitting next to some old dude who was, like, moaning the whole movie. He was. I don't know why.
Moaning in, like, complaint or moaning, like, in erotic fascination?
No, he wasn't. It was, like, moaning like he has a trouble trying breathing. Like a... like that. I don't know if you can hear it, but yeah, like that.
I heard that. Yeah. I'm not gonna make fun of old people.
Yeah, like clearly he was old guy, so I was like, I didn't bother me, and I tuned it out after a while because it's so monotonous that it goes away.
Under
I
normal
really
circumstances,
enjoyed the baby crying. Great part.
that was fun. That was fun.
I really enjoyed the two people in front of me who both turned on their phones multiple times with their brightness almost at max. That was really great.
Yeah.
I'm not one to complain, but when it's like you're focused on like a dark movie. The movie's dark, and then all of a sudden, fucking flashbangs.
Yeah.
The fuck? Yeah.
Sorry. I like. There were multiple times in the movie where it was like some cool moment happened, or like I recognized an actor, or like there was a funny line or some shit, and like I would look over at my sister, and she'd like look over at me, and we'd like smile, like have that moment of like, oh, we both know that actor. They were in a show we watched.
Mm-hmm.
Funny parts, cool parts, shit would happen. I would look over at you, and you were just.
Yeah, I don't display. I was engrossed. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You had no
I get
reaction
immersed.
the
I get
entire
so
3
immersed.
hours.
I'm in there. I'm in the movies, and I'm just like, that is my life for the next however long. Like, I'm serious. Like, that's just how I. So I found things funny. The movie wasn't. There was no like Marvel quips, but there would be like my Who are you? Vengeance. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. It's the cheesiest shit, but it's great because it's Batman. But yeah, no, I get engrossed in the movie. That's why. The only thing that broke me out of that was the baby crying. Even the flashbanging lights, I quickly lost focus of that. But the baby was annoying because I watched. You know when they first brought Star Wars back, that first movie, the entire movie we watched, it was baby crying the entire time. Yeah.
That is delightful.
Although I didn't enjoy the movie, so it didn't really matter at the end of the day. But what if I did? What if it was like a great movie? That would have sucked.
Right. And it's forever tainted because there's some asshole baby crying.
Yeah. Don't bring your babies to the movies. If you have a baby, don't go to the movies.
Babies to a movie theater.
Get a babysitter if they're too young to be babysat. Just don't go to the movies. Wait till it comes out on streaming. Right? Like, come on. It's
Don't
so
take your
easy.
goddamn baby to a movie theater.
No courtesy. Like, I would my first thought would be, okay, this baby's gonna immediately fucking cry, right? It's a dark room, it's a strange environment, they're an infant, they're gonna get weirded out and start crying.
There's explosions going off on the screen.
I know it's Batman, and it had great reviews, and you were excited, but you have a responsibility to not ruin everyone's time.
Yeah.
Like, it's a no-brainer decision for me to not bring the baby.
Yeah, don't bring your baby into a fucking movie theater, you assholes.
I don't think it's people who don't care. I think they don't think about it till they're there. I guarantee they're embarrassed as shit when it happens. They're like, oh, shit, fuck, calm down.
Yeah. Hey, think about it next time, you assholes. Stop bringing your babies into a fucking movie theater.
I'm the type of person who doesn't get mad with babies on a plane because I understand. Sometimes you need to go on a trip. Sometimes you need to go somewhere and your baby's going to go and they're going to cry. Don't be a dick and be like, the fucking inconsiderate assholes brought their baby. What if they're going for, like, I don't know, like a funeral or something? Like, what? They're supposed to just not take... What are you talking about? Like, that I get, but movie theaters, that's pure entertainment.
Also, a plane ride isn't really, like... That's not an experience. That's just, like... I mean, it's an experience, as in, like... You're supposed to be miserable on a plane, I think.
Yeah.
A movie theater is like, don't take your baby into a movie theater. That's a people paid good money to come and have an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
Don't take your baby into a fucking movie theater. Don't take your baby to see a movie about a dude who like tortures people and murders a bunch of people and all that sort of shit too.
Yeah.
Like,
that seems out of touch a bit, but I mean
a little bit.
The baby sounded quite young. I doubt it even looked at that screen once.
You never know.
It was fucking.
You never know what sticks. You don't know what sticks with a child until
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't take them to the Batman. If I saw the rating, I would. No, I'm not gonna take them there. I would take them to the movies. Like, you ain't going to the movies so you can sit still.
Yeah. I heard that.
Yeah, loud car.
So I went and watched Batman again.
It was that good.
It was. I fucking loved it. It's a genuinely amazing movie. I watched it again like a couple days ago,
Hmm.
like Wednesday or whatever. And uh so the first time when we watched it, we were in like a full blackout theater where
Yeah.
it's just the screen. When I watched it with still, it was like the bullshit 4D like shit where they display part like on the walls so it like you're surrounded basically.
That's stupid.
And it's so bad. It's so terrible. It genuinely pulled me out of it, like out of the moment so many times where I'm like, what the fuck? Stop.
Was it
Like
one of those ones where they have the seating above you, like an overhang where there's more seating? So they have to
I
make
don't
the screen bigger and taller, and so it stretches the movie. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't, no.
That's bad. It's not
Yeah.
noticeable until you like just see it, and you're like, oh, it's altered slightly. It's very slightly lifted. I think it's very rare to do that, but
Yeah.
and only some movies do it. It's dependent on their like aspect ratio, but it's so stupid. I hate gimmicks.
Yeah.
Put me in front of a screen. That's all I want.
Exactly. Big screen, loudspeakers. That's all we need.
I am glad I saw it in theaters though, because
Yeah.
it was a theater movie for sure. The way it was like very, very, I don't know, the sound and all that was like, if I was watching this on a TV, I wouldn't experience the same way. If I had headphones on, maybe, because, you know, it encompasses my head. But
Right.
it was cool though.
It was a very cinematic movie. It
Yes.
was they did a lot to try to just get you into it.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked very, very well. Amazing movie.
I loved. Continue.
Uh,
Oh, I had. It's not as important as what you probably had to say.
I have nothing important to say ever.
Oh, I was just gonna comment on the car chase, but if you want to continue,
Comment on the car chase.
I loved how the car chase was to find out that they just didn't read it good enough. The thing, the Spanish word or whatever. So they chase this guy down, and he's like, "You guys didn't know that this was like Spanish or whatever." I don't know. And then he's like, "Well, that's wrong. That's not how you do it. It's actually this." They could have just avoided all of that. So I actually felt like the movie purposely went out of its way to cause the car chase. Which, as soon as it was over, and then they figured that out, I was like, "Was that all for this?" Like, that seemed so meaningless, but that's my only, like... There's a few things in that movie that seem like they're doing it for coolness' sake. Like, they could have totally avoided this.
I have counterpoints to that, but I don't want to spoil anything because the movie is still kind of fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll save my comments on that for now.
It's only a minor thing that I noticed, and it wouldn't impact a rating if I were to give one.
Yeah.
It's like a minor...
What is your rating?
I can't quantify my thoughts into numbers.
Give me a rating.
It was good. On a scale of bad to excellent, it was great.
Where does that rank on a 1 to 10?
I don't give out my rating structure. If I were to do that, it would corrupt the process. It's like the Michelin star people. They don't tell you how they rate it. They just give you a star.
Drew, I don't know if you know how petty I am.
Yeah, we played Valorant, and I didn't buy
you
you a gun once, and then you proceeded to not buy any guns for the rest of the game as like some form of rebellion. But
no, I bought the operator.
You did a couple. You also, I noticed, I saw that you had other guns at some point. I saw with my little eyes. I saw them. You had a Guardian at one point. I think you might have picked it up though.
I know I did not have a Guardian because I absolutely refused to use the Guardian because
then it wasn't a Guardian. It was long. It might have been a shotgun then.
It was the operator. The operator was the
no
only
because
thing
I know the operator's silhouette on, like, you know how you look over someone's head and they show you, or like at their name.
I might have picked up a gun after killing someone, but I only used the classic.
That's what I'm saying. I think you did. You picked up a gun a couple times, but it did not hinder my enjoyment of the game in any way. In fact, I was like, if we win, it's even better now.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking to my pettiness, I will halt this entire podcast until you give me a number rating.
I can't, solely because I don't know if I'd be able to accurately give one. That I'll say one and then I'll be immediately dissatisfied with my answer, no matter what I say, because I don't think it's 100%. Because almost nothing is 10 out of 10. Like, that's so hard. But like, is it 9? Like, is it that good, or is it? But I really enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoyed it. So would it be a 10? Would it be an 8? 8 seems more realistic, but is that accurate to how I feel?
Is it?
I don't know. I literally, dude, if someone asked me to do something like give a ranking or make a decision, that's a stun lock, bro.
We're gonna work through this together. I'm gonna mature you.
8 out of 10.
Forcibly grow you up.
8
out of 10.
Yeah.
That's what you rank it.
That's what I'm gonna give it.
Okay.
I totally didn't just pull that out of my ass.
I mean, hey, you know.
I totally am not immediately regretting that answer.
Hey, you know, it is what it is. That's the answer you gave.
What's yours?
What you get. 9.8.
Wow, that's... How far do your points go? Does it go to like the hundreds place?
No.
9.876 actually.
It goes to 1. It goes
to the tens place.
Number.
Yes.
To the tens, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Is it is 0.10? Does that exist? Like, if you were to go past 8.9, would you just be set at 9? Or does it go to like... Okay. There's no 8.10. You can't.
That's just
100.
8.10 is 8.1.
Yeah, I know. So
it's either 8.1 or it's up to 9.
Yeah. It's weird.
Because I'm not gonna give it like an 8.99 rating. I'll round up at that point.
8.999.
Yeah.
99.999%.
I would give the Batman a rating of 9.9764337.
I'd give the Batman a ranking of 3.141592654.
That's as far as I know as well of pi.
Yeah, I think that's what they teach in like school. Up to that point. In India, they have to like learn it up to a certain point. It's like really long. I forgot what it is.
Yeah.
The number they have to go to. It's crazy though. It's like part of their curriculum, which is strange. I don't see the need to know that. But yeah.
Hey, you never know when you're gonna need to know.
Pi to that extent.
Pi to that extent, yeah.
We are reaching a long point in the recording, but I do want to bring up one last topic.
Bring it up. Let's talk about it.
Bring it up now, y'all. And I saved it for last because it is
it is
sorry, I eyelash in my eyeball. We did a really good job this time.
I think so.
We did a really good job of not bringing this up till now, but Vanguard.
Motherfucker. I don't want to talk Vanguard anymore. I'm done with Vanguard.
I think if the game was better, I'd be willing to like not fulfill my responsibilities in practice.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm like, well, I got things to do. But for Cold War even, I would push things out of the way to play it, to practice with the homies. But the game is so fucking bad.
Cold War was good.
Admittedly, ranked Vanguard's way better than pubs. Admittedly. But it's still fundamentally flawed. Like, I cannot get behind that fucking video game, man.
It is the worst Call of Duty game. Period.
Gameplay-wise, for sure, yeah. If I had to pick one that looks grosser, it'd be Ghosts. Ghosts looks ugly. I don't like it. It's my least favorite looking.
Ghost is ugly.
I hate Modern Warfare menus. I love the Modern Warfare games, but their menus are like either gray, or all green, or like blue. Like, what fucking why? Mm-hmm. Why? So, like, Modern Warfare 2019. It's part of the Modern Warfare, like, thematic theme.
Yeah.
The menus are fucking vile. They're just...
Yeah.
Ugh, I can't stand them. I love the Black Ops ones, how they're just... It's the same, like, layout, but the color's better. That's such a stupid and weird thing to critique.
Vanguard has the singular worst, like, overlay
Oh my
and
god,
like
it's
menu
so
system
bad.
we've ever gotten. It's genuinely like a hassle to just go through everything and get to fucking ranked and play ranked.
It is. It's oh my god. Shader installation, by the way, they
Oh yeah.
changed it. It only starts if you're on the main menu, and if you leave the main menu, it resets.
Hmm.
So that's why my game would look like Roblox, because it would say it's done, right? But actually, the floating bar filled up and it vanished, but it's still doing shit behind the scenes. So I'd go to ranked play, come back, and it had to start like from its last checkpoint back. And it's
Yeah.
so bad. Like even Cold War had that, but it was better. Like it just was better. So like, what did they do wrong? What did they do to make this so broken?
Yeah.
It's just. Ugh. But I brought it up because they added pause and zombies. But I don't want
Whoa.
no. You have to hear about this. This is insane.
Okay.
So never once before has pause and zombies, or just in a video game, been as bizarre as how this one works. So
Okay.
the button is still pressed, the game still pauses, the action stops. But what's funny, there are two aspects of it that make it unique. One,
Okay.
the game doesn't stop. There's no stoppage of everything. Everything is still happening, except the zombies. So you can press reload, pause, and if you wait the allotted amount of time for your gun to reload and unpause, your gun will be reloaded and ready. But the zombies will stop. They still make noises, the world is still altering, but they will literally freeze in time. So you can, I'm getting overrun by a horde and my ray gun is charging, or it needs to charge. Press reload, pause, zombies will stop. You won't hear any noises of the reload, but if you just wait a certain amount of time, unpause, the gun's reloaded, and you can immediately retaliate. So, cheese. Second, for the first time ever, the pause mode has a time limit. The time limit for pausing is 2 hours. If you pass 2 hours, the game boots you to the main menu. Oh, it's so bad, dude. It's so fucking bad. Holy shit. It's great. It's so fucking stupid. They've also broke their mode with this most recent update now. They've added essentially PhD into the game via the Covenant system. And if you get the gold version, it's like ranks in the Covenants, blue to gold.
Sure, yeah.
If you get the gold one, 100% damage from explosives turned off, and 100% damage increase. And you can also get one that makes any body shot has a chance to become a critical hit, which is get double damage. And you can do the one that already exists that when you get a critical hit, fills your magazine. And all of your ammo, or whatever, a certain amount. And if you get all those gold and used, you can spam the rocket launchers so fast and literally with infinite ammo and double damage. And the best part is it works on the War Machine, which it shouldn't. So the game has literally just been, it's not a game anymore. It's I can press this button a lot.
Yeah.
They literally just killed their game, which some people think it's fun. It's like I think they gave up and they were just like, fuck it, give them all the random shit they want. But it's still like, it's not even a game anymore. They just gave up.
Yeah.
I think they should just stop updating it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 2024, Treyarch's next game. Can't get here soon enough.
I am hurting. I don't know. I'm feeling the need for health bars, man. To this day in Vanguard, I look to the bottom left every time I get shot. But yeah, is what it is. I think that is. I think it's a good time to wrap up, though.
Yeah.
We're getting to our end point. So, any final last things you want to bring up besides your spiel?
My spiel. No, I have nothing else that I'd like to bring up at the moment, other than good to be back.
Yeah,
Excited to make content.
Yeah, should be easier now, at least. Maybe.
Hopefully.
We said that like 6 times now.
It's, you know,
What life does to a motherfucker.
yeah. All right. We're not gonna get into that though. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, love you. Hit the subscribe button because obviously you like our content. You made it this far. Thank you so much for watching. Deuces.
Deuces.